Hi there, my name's Hayley and I've been doing the Osiris Teacher Intervention course with Judy and my colleagues at Blacklands Primary School. So the first module was engagement, and that was all about building a learner's cache, which stands for knowledge, attitude, skills and habits. So how did we do that in Primary 1? So from the course, I would say the 5 most important things that really stood out and was personal to me in Primary 1 was making sure I was maintaining high expectations, making sure the children felt safe to take risks, making deliberate mistakes and exploring those, building a growth mindset and self-affirmation. And you'll see I've got a lovely video of the children doing a Snoop Doggy Dog affirmation song, which they absolutely love, and it's really nice to see how they feel so comfortable with each other and just having fun and enjoying themselves in the class. During this module I also learned about the 2 key components to making sure that new learning goes into that long-term memory. The first one being making sure that I'm planning engaging lessons for the children, and also making sure that they have opportunities to really think deeply about that new learning. And in the next video I'm going to show you the children completely in flow, lovely to watch, being detectives, trying to solve the mystery of the missing bear.
I need to check at that footprint. This must be a medium-sized one. Yeah, I need to check the footprint. It's white. Maybe they stepped something that they didn't notice. Wait, I know what it is. Yeah, Dad, help me. Wait, Lottie, I know what it is.
Are you sure about that, really?
Emily, I think we should put these in one of the mystery tubs. And we saw a picture of the hair. Touch everything. So if the hair was like this, that wouldn't be anything here.
This module's really made me realise how important play is in Primary 1. There's loads of opportunities for the children to be engaged in their learning, opportunities for retrieval practice, which we learned about in Module 3, being able to interleave that learning, and just the children being in flow and taking their learning on whatever path they want to take it in, and also opportunities for me and other members of staff to really scaffold that learning by real quality questioning and involvement. What I really noticed from my videos in this module is that the children really find it tricky to sit and listen on the carpet, and I absolutely talk far too much. So as a result, I tried really hard to think of different ways to get the children focused and engaged during carpet time, because it's really important. I started to introduce more talking partners, we call it shoulder partners, and also tiny teachers. So the children absolutely love taking responsibility of being that tiny teacher, and this involves usually summarising the learning or perhaps explaining something that they understand that maybe the others don't. And if they get it wrong, great, because we've really worked this term on making mistakes, celebrating mistakes, and then also gives us an opportunity to perhaps discuss some misconceptions. So long-term memory is key, and I also realised that even if they're engaged in activity, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to remember it. So they need to be doing something with that new learning. And a really good example was when we were looking at symmetry. You'll see it later on in the video, where Lily Eva, she was like, I'm not sure what symmetry is. She volunteered to be the tiny teacher. And as soon as I had reminded her about the butterfly that she made, she instantly said, oh, that's when we folded the pieces of paper and they were exactly the same on each side, and could use that language and talk about that mirroring image. And that's because she did something with, that was memorable, that she enjoyed doing, and she could relate that information to help. So Module 2 was on feedback. There was lots of learning about the planning backwards method. Number 1 being establishing a starting point for each learner. Number 2, identifying the end result, what do I want them to know. Number 3 is how will I know, so that would be your assessment. And the 4th one being planning your topic, your learning, whatever it is they want to learn. The most important thing that I really took from this module was how important it is to do the redo stage, which I suppose I can be quite guilty of not doing. A lot of my lessons involve sitting on the carpet, a lovely board display, maybe a song, a dance, teaching, maybe the children coming up, but missing out that middle stage where the children work together to really deeply think and explore that learning. It would probably go from me teaching to an independent task. So I have a video of the children doing the we do stage, really simple activity. The children are sorting some sentences that I've written into 2 categories. One they felt was beautiful, and from this lesson the children actually set their own criteria for their writing. They were really confident at telling me what makes a really quality piece of work. They set the success criteria by saying things like it should have a capital letter, there should be finger spaces written on the line, and their writing was of such a good quality, and it was less time of me talking. So another thing that I really loved about the feedback module was the use of hinge questions, and I do that quite regularly now. You know, it's quick, fast, immediate feedback. Quite often do it at the beginning of a lesson, exploring the learning that we did from the previous day, and I have a really good video of us exploring symmetry and the children talking about which shape has one line of symmetry. And the hinge question is also really good at starting a new topic. I've got some very able learners in the class, and sometimes when we've started something new, these girls already know it straight away. So these questions are good to really get a good grasp of where the children are in their learning and making sure that you've got a starting point for each one of them. And if some children are needing challenged, then you can plan accordingly. Module 3 was all about challenge. In this module, I learned that challenge is engaging learners, learning new skills, developing new knowledge, a deeper understanding, developing resilience, and children being in flow, and I suppose as well exposing children to any gaps in learning. I really loved this next video because it shows how a simple concept like Magic E can be made quite interesting and engaging, and how the children were really thinking deeply about their learning. So we have a set of 9 Magic E words, and the children had to order them using the structure of the diamond 9 of importance, of which one they felt they should take with them on a camping trip. So the children started straight away talking about how food's important, and I predicted they would do that. So I had to have a set of questions ready to really challenge their thinking, and the conversations and the reasons for their answers when they changed their mind was great, and it really made me realise how important it is perhaps to have those questions planned, because perhaps they wouldn't have been able to think as deep as they did and got as much out of that activity if I hadn't. So some of the questions I used were, are any of these items not relevant? How could the flame be used? And are any of these objects something that perhaps could keep you safe when you were camping? And as I said, most of the children changed their answers because they had to really think about how they could use these objects. The next challenge was the mystery of the missing bear. And this challenge was for the children to work cooperatively together to solve a mystery. And in primary 1, this can be a challenge. As you can see from the video, the learners are developing a whole range of skills, including working cooperatively, sorting, classifying information. They're making links to the evidence. They are forming hypotheses with each other. Loads of learning going on, and the children really being in flow. So I must admit, when we started the Osiris training, I was really nervous, apprehensive. The thought of being filmed gave me fear. The first video I had to attempt to watch it 3 times before I could watch it through, but being really honest, I actually have really enjoyed it, and it has been so beneficial for my own professional development. So in primary 1 there is so much teacher talk, you know, from the very first offset. We're reminding them to hang jackets up, we're reminding them how to sit on the carpet, you know, it's absolutely exhausting. But this module has really trained me and taught me different ways to try and make the children have more ownership, to stop me talking as much and getting them more engaged in their learning.